right? I'm gonna be Wilson again. It's like, Heidi ho, neighborino. Make this one with a pair of underwear I have. And then there's a Hello Kitty poking her head out of one of them. It's super silly and super adorable at the same time. Oh, the cat has taken over my spot. Oh, hey, Gabby. Yeah. Hi, honey. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys... Come on, camera. Come on, camera. There it is. Hey, Joe. Hey, Ginger. Hey, Purple. Welcome to the stream. It is another beautiful Monday night. I mean, I could say it's a beautiful night. I mean it when I say it's beautiful just because, you know, we just had that Arctic bomb last week. It feels like so long ago, but, like, it was, like, so cold and negative, and now it's 60 degrees, right? Like, I have the doors open, I have the windows open, it's just freaking beautiful, right? I'm sure the snow's coming, but I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, to be honest with you. I'm gonna enjoy every second of it. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope your Monday has not been Monday, as Garfield loves to call it, right? Cotty! Cotty, my friend! How are you? Did you see your intro video? I play it at every stream. That's the beginning of my stream, my friend. So anybody in the channel who doesn't know who Sukati is, he is the wonderful, fantastic editor who made that video. You guys can see that on the streams at the beginning. You can see it as a channel theme, like the intro to my channel, and over on my YouTube. I love that fucking video, Cotty, okay? I love it. I've been talking with Cotty about possibly editing this series of interviews, because I don't have time. I just had, like, all these meetings today, and, talks with people in the UK and all this, and it's like, where am I gonna get time? When am I gonna get fucking time? I have no idea. I'll make time. So if anybody, because there's a lot of professional quilters in the room, if you are looking for an editor, you are looking for my friend Circati, and I would be more than happy to pass along his information to anybody who wants it, because he's a fabulous editor. So do it before you go to do the last one. Yeah, probably should. But yeah, good evening, everybody. I hope you're good. I see you, Whiskey. I see you there. We've got a special guest tonight, and we've got Amanda. If you see Oshemi in the channel, give him lots of love. A lot of you know that Oshemi hasn't been feeling very good the last couple of days. He's been really sick. And I had him test for COVID. And he's positive for COVID. So, yeah. Poor Oshemi is very sick. He's still stubborn and sitting at his computer and being an amazing partner and moderator. But if things go downhill south really quick with him, I am getting him up to bed and getting him some rest. So just putting that FYI out there for y'all. But yeah, so lots of love to our Oshemi. We all love you, Oshemi. Yes, I know, right? Yeah, and not only did he test positive for COVID, which he's very cranky about, but then, so like, you know, you're supposed to kind of isolate, and my daughter's in school, so I'm like, okay, does that mean I have to keep her home? And I literally just got a letter in the mail today from her school about her missing school. She has not been tardy once. No tardies whatsoever. But she's missed 11 days. But you all know I don't hide anything, and I spill the beans way too much. We had a whole event with her eyesight and migraines and all this other stuff, and seeing all these specialists, and now I have to take her to see her a neurologist, right? Just to check. And it's like, the principal sends me this letter, and I'm like, excuse me, do you not even look at your own, like, health records of what's going on in your own school? Like, WTF, like, get off my back here. I will fight you, okay? Oshemi was joking that the only reason they want her in the school is because she's the smartest kid in that damn school, and she's, like, raising everybody's grades. So, in that respect, he's probably not wrong. But, you know, she shouldn't be missing so much school. But at the same time, I want my kid to be healthy and happy. So, anyway, that's a conversation for another day, and we'll get into it. But we have another special interview. We are counting down, guys. We are counting down. Tonight, we have a special guest. Her name's Amanda. She actually is a local to me here in Colorado. We will have Chris on Friday, and then we will finish the Sprout interviews with our friend Purple Peony Poppy, otherwise known as Lori. She'll be on the stream the following Friday, and I have a feeling between Lori and I, we're going to be getting the rum out, and it's going to be a good night. So, we will go right into it, because I've kept Amanda waiting long enough. Hi, Amanda. Say hi to everybody. We've got
Hi.
Whiskey and Gingerberry and Purple Peony Poppy and Joe. They're all here, and they're all saying hi. And they're all sending Oshemi love, because I was telling you, the poor guy, he's so fucking sick.
Yeah.
But he's a stubborn mule. And I'm such a bully. I feel so bad. Like, I put it, a loving bully, okay? A loving bully. I steal his remote and don't let him rest, I guess. I don't know. He can't be too mad. He laughs about it. He, like, gets this, he's so adorable, you know, because you've seen Oshemi. He's this big guy, right? Like, most people know who Oshemi is. And he's got a very serious look, and that goatee and everything, and damn does he look good in a leather jacket. But, like, when he's sick, and he's like, oh, it's like the cutest little thing. It's like a sad little puppy, and it's like, you're adorable. I can't help it. But everybody's saying hi. And why don't you introduce yourself, Amanda, because you are local to me here in Denver, Colorado, and you are an amazing quilter.
Thank you for that. Good for the ego right there.
I'll keep feeding it.
I'm Amanda. I am the owner of ALeeBC Creative, as well as another brand called Quilt It List.
Yeah.
And as Sondrasa just said, I am here in Colorado. I have been quilting for about 12 years, I guess. Yeah, 12 seems about right. Quilting professionally for about half that.
Yeah.
I jumped into that pretty dang quick because I figured out if I was ever going to finish a project, I needed to learn how to quilt it myself because I
Right?
don't have that kind of money to pay somebody.
No, no, I don't either. And it's, you guys, I finished
Yeah.
a thing today that I need to quilt, and I was showing Amanda, and I'm like, I don't know how to quilt it. I don't. It's English paper piecing, so I can't just stitch it in the ditch. So I actually have to do something, and I don't necessarily, yeah.
If I come up with anything, I'll let you know.
Please do. Amanda is a master free motion quilting quilter, so there's that. But you're not only an amazing quilter, but like you're also doing a lot of block of the month, like because in our local quilt shop local quilt shop day was this last Saturday. And, it's one of those things where a lot of us, I mean, pretty much all of us, support our local quilt shops because, they're a national treasure, as I coined the term. But you've lived here in Colorado a lot longer than I am, so you've seen a lot more come and go than I have. But in the time that I've been here, because I was here right before COVID hit, as far as I knew, we lost like 2 or 3 shops here. But, like, Colorado Fabrics was already kind of going out of business or closing or something, from my understanding.
Yeah, that seems about right. I think they closed maybe 2019, because I think they closed prior to COVID. They had moved, apparently, and once they moved, they lost a lot of business.
I could see that.
They weren't in a bad spot after they moved, but it's like people just decided it wasn't worth going to a different place. I don't know. We've probably lost, that I can think of off the top of my head, about 5. Some of the remaining ones, I wonder how they're still in business. That said, we've lost some, but we've gotten some new ones. Like there's a new one, I don't know if you know, up in Arvada. She's been open for about a year. They were at market because I had met her probably 2 months before, maybe before market, and we had chatted about it for a minute, and she recognized me. I had forgotten what she looked like, and she said, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh, that's right." So there's a new one up in Arvada, and then actually a bunch of the people that work at Fabric Play, which is the one closest to you and I, used to work at Colorado Fabrics.
Oh, okay. So that explains why some of them seem familiar-ish. Like, because for me, like, Colorado Fabrics is the closest one, but then I also love Trilata. I don't know, I think you've been there too, but Fabric Play is so much closer, and I don't have to go downtown kind of thing. Like, why not?
Yep.
But, like, so you are, like, really kind of, like, with your hand on the pulse of local quilt shops, because you just, it's not over, right? You're doing a block of the month there, right?
Yeah.
That's on my to-do list. Like, how is that working out? How do you like that?
I really like it. I have a couple of friends who are doing it, who are doing it probably like I might do a block of the month. I'll be honest, I'm behind. I'm making patties right now as part of the thing, and I'm totally behind. It is all I can do to do the pieces and parts before the class.
I mean, to be fair, you've kind of been busy. I know what's going on behind the scenes, and
I have,
your plate is full.
Shipped today.
Well, that's
so they're out of my house.
I still have to finish mine.
Oh, yeah, you better do that.
It's small. It's just my sewing machine was being a brat and didn't want me to thread sketch.
Oh.
So I was like, all right, I'll work on something else and then come back to it and probably change my needle out. You know how that goes. But we have until the 5th, right? So I've got
get it to California, yes.
Yeah, and California's not too far, so it should be okay if I get it out in the next day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. It felt really, really good. Although I will say, I did come home and figure out how to print shipping labels and pay for them through my store.
So we are paying for shipping. So Amanda and I are doing a super secret project for Island Boutiques for their lookbook for spring summer, right, for this year.
Spring summer. They'll come out in April.
Yeah, and have you ever done a lookbook before?
I have not. I'm super excited, and I'm trying to manage my expectations.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful, but I expect very little.
Same.
If that makes sense.
Same.
Yeah. I expect nothing to just this much.
Between you and me, to be honest, I was surprised they went with my project, and I don't think they would have if it hadn't been for Kate. Kate Colleran is the designer that I'm working with.
Said?
I think she just said that it would be a... God, my goldfish brain. No, I don't remember what she said.
She said that it would be a page stopper.
Oh.
It would make the shops stop at that page and look twice.
I think Kate has way too much faith in my design.
Well,
she is a very kind and generous person, I will say that. So if you guys need a fabric designer to follow, I suggest you go follow Kate Colleran. She's a marvelous human being, and she's local to Amanda and I for now. Did you hear that she is closing on her house in Connecticut? So she won't...
No, I have not talked to her, but she won't move until after market.
She's not sure if it's going to be before or after. That's kind of like, yeah, we were talking about it today.
It wouldn't be before.
Yeah. Because I could not imagine having to move and deal with market and all that other stress on top of it. Like, holy shit.
Well, no, that's why she was planning on waiting so that she could get through a bunch of stuff that she had already had in the works up until that point.
Now, have you worked with Kate before with her fabrics? Because, like, this is the first time that you and I both are in a lookbook. Okay.
Yeah, I tried. So we are in the same guild, she and I.
Right.
And I met her and talked to her when her line Paisley Got Mod came out.
Okay.
And she said, hey, would you be interested in doing like an IG hop with me and recoloring something? And I was like, yeah, I would. Except I was new enough at that point to not really... I didn't know enough, and I will be honest, I did not follow up, and it was one of those, I wasn't sure how that worked, and you know me and my lack of social media game. So that was August of 22, I guess, because it was right when we started that course.
Right.
It was right before then.
I'm so thankful that Kate was like the first designer proper that I've worked with, because she is so patient and so gracious with her time and her expertise and sharing her knowledge. Because we've had in our group somebody who's has been on this interview has told us horror stories of working with designers, and that's kind of the last thing that any of us really want to deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because none of us are that way.
No.
So, like, we all are in the a rising tide lifts all boats. We want to share information.
100%.
And we're not... Now, I think quilting in general is kind of a unique animal in the sense that we can all be technically competitors, but we don't really compete with each other, because I look at it this way. I don't know any single quilter in all the hundreds and hundreds that I've met who only make patterns by one person, or who only shop with, one shop or one person's fabric lines or whatever. Like, we're all very we're all, oh, I was just about to say something and I don't know who's listening, so I'm gonna edit that.
Good on you. I'm not very good. I usually shove my foot in my mouth.
Well,
But to
it was gonna be a little. If you were just you and me, it would be different. I'll tell you later. But basically, we're pretty free with ourselves, and we find inspiration wherever.
yeah.
And we're not. I mean, we might be loyal to a fabric company or whatever, because Lord knows I've got my favorites.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean I wouldn't work with somebody else.
Right.
So I like what I like. And I like a lot of different stuff. I find
But you're not
inspiration and
opposed, because
whatnot.
I know for the Sprout Quilt Challenge, this, not necessarily the fabric itself, but like this colorway and all that, this is not your cup of tea. This is not
No,
usually the kind of stuff you work with. But
no.
you've grit and bared it, and I think your
Well,
block is fucking beautiful.
I voted for it
Right.
because to me, the color palette gave all of us something that we could work with.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fine. It's definitely not something I would lean towards. I mean, truth. It's not
Right.
something I lean towards. So doesn't mean that it's not, fun to work with something different. It just, I usually, if I work with something that I'm like, I'm not so sure about that, I want to
Mm-hmm.
make it and then give it to somebody else so that they can be happy with it, because that's.
But to be fair, it shows that your design works good. Oh, I keep hearing him cough. Poor guy. Um, it shows that how fantastic your pattern looks, and it doesn't matter the material.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I like to see other people make my patterns, because
Right.
then they can use fabrics that I wouldn't necessarily use,
Well, and that's kind of where
and
quilt
they can
testers
demonstrate
kind of
that.
come in. And you and I, we've kind of had a private conversation for a while now since the big kind of Instagram blow up and the conversation being had, which I think is an important conversation to have. And we're not going to go
Hmm.
fully into it during the stream because you and I could talk about it for like 2 hours easy. Um, but that's kind of the beauty of having testers. And I haven't told you yet. And I
Hmm.
want to share this because you know how I feel about the whole tester situation, and it's a very conflicting thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I was telling my mom about it because yes, I'm going to talk about my mama. You guys can shut the fuck up. I love my mama. But I was telling her about it and like how I'm not gonna get any testers for the next couple projects that I'm getting ready to release, and she's like, "Well, what project is it?" I'm like, "Well, da 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 da," because she already has all my patterns. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I
Oh,
send it
yeah.
to her, right?
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, well, I'll pull fabric today and I'll make that and I'll take pictures for you." I'm like, "I just said I'm not doing testers and I can't afford to pay." And she's like, "I'm your mama. I can make whatever the heck I want and nobody's going to give you crap because I'm your mama." I'm like, "All right.
Hmm.
Okay." And then I have that conversation with her, and then I have a Discord that's specifically for my testers that I had used
Hmm.
last year for several of those projects. And I
Hmm.
had one of my testers kind of like reach out in that Discord saying, "Hey, you had talked about like a month or two ago before Christmas about possibly doing a call for testers." And this, I'd put that out like right before the blow up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But because of everything, and we had this conversation a little bit before in that Discord, but I had kind of settled down. Yes, Chica, it is a pretty dope Discord, testers Discord, only because you're the admin and you make sure it works. Like, yeah, I'll give you a pat on the back. Good job, admin. But I had told her, like, I came to the conclusion that I wasn't gonna use testers. That maybe in a year, maybe I'll look, because I just can't afford to compensate anyone. I can't even afford right now to do a goodie bag or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that, because I have a swag store. Like, I wish I
Hmm.
could even afford to give you a like a $20 coupon to go to the swag store. But I don't even, like, right now it's just not right there, right? I'm not
Yeah.
at that level yet. And she kind of, I don't want to say she scolded me, but she said something along the lines of, I've seen this conversation going on, and I have noticed a large drop in calls for testers, but no one's asking us how we feel. Nobody is hearing our side of the conversation. And
I observe comment sections, right? Like you know, I've sent you some.
Yeah.
And I did notice some of the testers that had tested for me last summer comment that, you know, they weren't necessarily on board with either side of the coin completely, you know what I mean? And I still fall down on the, if two people agree to something and they both know what they're agreeing to, then it is nobody else's business what those two people agree to.
Right. Because I'm not going to disclose if I'm paying somebody. Like, you don't know with my patterns, if you're a Joe Smo, you don't know if I'm paying a tech editor or not. That's my business. Exactly. And you and I both know that I do, because we have the best tech editor friend in the whole damn world. We have several tech editor friends. But, so, and I had kept that thought in my mind of what you had said about how it being agreement between two people, you know, we're all adults, this kind of thing. And so it really kind of got me thinking. And then she said something, and then I had another one of my testers who's, like, been a fantastic tester, also say, yeah, you know, we want to test for you. And she had put it as, the more she had thought about it, the more it was, she decided that was her way of supporting a small business. That was her way of supporting a small business. Her contribution. Yeah.
That is a perspective I hadn't thought about.
Yeah. That was her way of doing that. And yeah. So you like that. Yeah, I knew you'd like that, Whiskey. I knew you'd like that. So I ended up, and I told them, you know, I'm a pretty sensitive, emotional person from time to time. All the time. But I told them, like, you guys literally, seriously just filled my cup. You filled my heart right there. Like, because, like, I didn't think anyone gave two shits. Because, like, I've kind of had a little bit of hit or miss with my testers Discord, where I have two fantastic people who are really keeping up on everything, but, like, 3 or 4 of them kind of, like, got the pattern and then just ghosted. Yeah. Yeah. And, like, that's fine. I had reached out to a couple of them, and I know certain situations had happened, right? And that's fine. But, like, I didn't really think anyone cared, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, we want to test for you.
It's so easy to get in that mindset, too.
It really is.
You know, we are really involved in what we're doing. Yeah. And then it takes a minute for us to realize, we go, we are not the only people that they happen to be dealing with. And we have to take a step back and go, okay, it's probably not us. It's probably just life is happening.
Because, like, and for me, there's always something going on. And I feel like I'm always complaining to you guys about something in my life. But, like, seriously, that's life in general. Everybody's got something on their plate that's, like, draining the ever-living shit out of them, right?
Exactly.
But so, yeah, like, that was fantastic. And because they've reached out and did that, I actually set up 2 patterns coming up for them to... Love you, sweetie. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, I set up the 2 patterns for them to go for. And, like, they're getting started on it. And it's like, wow.
Nice. I fell on the opposite side of that. Now, I've got local people who will absolutely test. Like, my mom will test anything that I put in front of her.
Right.
However, the couple that I'm like, I could really probably go for a tester for the one super secret project for next January, but I happen to be holding my mom's Sprout Quilt hostage, so she can't. Yeah, that's where I'm at. maybe I can work with AccuQuilt, and maybe they'll send me send me one of my own.
That would be
But for
nice.
now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
holding my mama's hostage because I just have the itty bitty baby one, and I was like, I'm not cranking that
Mm-mm.
through for 1,300 triangles. It's not happening.
Dude, I tell you what, like, I remember when I was sharing a studio with my mama back when I first started getting into quilting,
Mm-hmm.
and she had an AccuQuilt, and like I hated that damn thing. I still hate it. Like you're cranking and cranking, and it's supposed to be
Yeah.
so good for English paper piecing because you can just
I
crank,
used it to do
crank,
my grandmother's
crank.
flower garden,
Hmm?
and I used the crank version. And I'll be honest with you, I pieced that entire quilt, save when I put them all together, like put my sections together.
Mm-hmm.
I pieced that entire thing in my car,
That's what
waiting,
I'm saying.
waiting to go to work at the Pepsi Center. I pieced that whole thing in my car
Yeah. I
in the
always have a
dark, I might
project,
add.
right? I always try and have a project on hand to try and,
Mm-hmm.
because you never know when you're going to need it. You never know when you got to whip it
Yep.
out, right?
Yep.
I whip
Yep.
it out
You gotta
everywhere.
have something.
Yeah,
You gotta have something to whip out because you never know when you're going to be bored stiff.
seriously. Well, and I don't know about you, but I have resting bitch face. Okay? I
Oh
have resting
yes,
bitch face,
preach,
and
preach.
I've got this crazy hair that no one else in my daughter's grade has. Like, I am this abnormal adult at this kid event, and if I have something for sewing, whether it's at the
Mm-hmm.
doctor's office or whatever, it automatically makes me more approachable.
Mm,
And as soon as somebody starts talking to me, I can see in their face when I
mm-hmm.
start talking how huge of a shift of their thought of me changes. Because you know me,
Mm.
I'm bubbly and laughy and smiley and like,
Yeah.
yay! They don't expect that. They don't
No.
expect it. And it's like,
No.
just because I have crazy hair, like, God, you can see the fucking whites tonight, man. Like, look at that. Like, it's seriously, like, man, I'm getting. It's. I wish I had natural color like you. Man, my natural
Well,
color
we're
is
not going
like
to talk about that.
teal.
So yesterday I was scrolling through TikTok last night, I should say, because Hubs was here. Um, Scrolling through TikTok, and some woman is doing this. Is this redhead? Is this, person in Hollywood a natural redhead? And they would show pictures of them as a child. And I'm like, um, does the reverse logic also work? Because I apparently am a natural redhead by their definition. You just can't see it now. And then I was like, where the hell are those pictures of me when I was 2? And I'm trying to say, like, where are they, Sean? And he goes, I think I remember seeing them. I'm like, yeah, I was in the little green plaid thing when I was like 2.
Yeah.
Bright ass red hair.
I was platinum blonde. My sisters and I, all three of us, because SoCal, you get that sunshine and it goes
Hmm.
from blonde to like, I am neon at night, right? That's how
Yeah.
platinum blonde my hair was. It almost
Yeah.
looked white in the summertime. And now, I mean, I'm kind of getting white again, but like I am kind of like sandy brown if I get enough sunshine in the summer, but
Hmm.
mainly just like a dirty brown. It's not even a pretty brown. Like my eyebrows aren't even like a pretty brown. Like it's just
So
like
my sister was blonde for maybe until she was 4 or 5. And she likes to say she was blonde. Dude, no, no,
no.
no. Because somewhere I still have her junior year photo from high school. She had the most boring brown ass hair I have ever seen. And I was like, she totally dyes it. She dyes it. It's
Mm-hmm.
always some sort of purple tones to it.
Yeah.
Um, that she gets away with a little bit at work because they pretend it's red, right? It's purple, which is fine. But it's just kind of funny to me because I'm like, Kier, you haven't been blonde since we were kids.
Mm-mm.
Myself, though, if I'm in the sunshine, you can see the red. Like it still shows up. And in the summertime, if I'm out, usually because you know me, I always have my hair up
Yeah.
anyways, I'll get real light on the outside. But yeah.
Joe suggests that we all need to share our photos of us as kids.
I need to find them. That's a good idea, Joe,
That would
because
be
actually this one little
adorable.
picture is so freaking cute. I'm like,
That's something we should
at
do on
one point I
Instagram.
was
We
cute.
should do like a tag roundabout of like, okay,
Oh,
this person starts it and like, all right, I am tagging you next, Amanda.
damn
You
it, you're
gotta
gonna
show
make me
it.
clean out my closet.
I am. I'm gonna have to like message my mama, like, Mama, I need a platinum blonde hair, because I know exactly where the photo books are too.
I'm gonna have to find mine
And
because
I know that she has pictures of the clothing that she made us. Like,
yeah,
it's like the cowboy like outfits with like the little vests. And you remember the puff paints that they would do the
oh yeah,
X's on? Yeah, no, I have. It's like a little Texas Western thing with a little boots. And we had American Girl dolls that she sewed matching outfits for.
oh Lord, I am so freaking old.
Yeah, right?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So we have Christmas dresses that with Christmas hats that my mom made for all of us, and our dolls had matching Christmas dresses with matching Christmas hats. That is the
we didn't
level
have
of
that.
No, that when people said we look like triplets,
I
I
am
motherfucking
OG
mean
Cabbage
it.
Patch.
Okay, I loved my grandpa. He had Garbage Patch cards.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember
Yeah, I had
seeing
those
them
too.
in his hutch. Well, yeah, but you're like around my
I'm
age.
old.
Like he was my grandpa. Like
No, I'm older than you, sweetie. Don't forget.
you're not that much. You're not as old as my grandpa, motherfucker. Okay, my
I'm
point.
46 years old.
Again, you're not that much older. But my point is that
Okay.
my grandfather
There is
then
a
had
world
it.
of difference in the 9 years between us, because I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
there's
it's
more.
9.
I think no,
There's a world of difference.
it's not 9. There's more we have in common than we have. There's more different between me and Shikamaru than you and me.
In a lot of ways, I agree with you. In a lot of ways,
I know.
not so much.
I know. Amanda has very strong opinions, and sometimes we butt heads, but we still love each other. So.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
I'm 25, though, Shikamaru says. Well, that's my fucking point, motherfucker.
My oldest kid is going to be 22 in May.
You could be Shika's mom. Yeah.
Fuck my life.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, son, come over here. Let me kick your ass, man.
Well, and I will grant him, so he didn't laugh at me. I told him I was being a guest on my
Twitch?
first Twitch stream, and he didn't laugh at me. Neither did my younger son. He said, "Have fun."
There you go.
But
See?
I had to come hide in my room because he's gaming, and I cuss. I don't mind cussing, but when it's my offspring and they're in the background, it tends to come across and rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, I gotcha. I can get that.
Yeah.
Think how my folks feel. They have a 41-year-old. Yeah.
My friend also has a 41-year-old, and I kind of laugh at her.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she got married the year I was born.
Yeah, Osh is younger than you
correctly.
are. He's a whippersnapper.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, like, and I think you and I kind of both fall into that, even though you are older than me. But it's one of those things where I'm at this age, correct me if you don't feel this way, but I am old enough to feel old to the younger generation. Like, I'm too old for the youngers, and I'm too young for the olders. Like, if I complain about getting, like, feeling older, or, like, because my wrist is falling apart, or whatever, like... Yeah. Everyone who's older than me, like, laughs, like, oh, yeah, that's funny, you're cute, you're still young. But then I have, like, the younger generation looking at me like, yeah, you're old, you should be in the grave. Like, dig yourself a grave already, come on.
You know, I don't know. I have literally... So, the joke growing up was that I was born an adult.
Mm-hmm. You're an old soul, right?
Oh,
always
yeah.
had the older friends, always had...
Yes.
Yep. 100%.
Absolutely. My husband is older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
He is on the one side of Gen X, and I am on the other. But
I love doing that to Oshemi. I don't know if you ever do this to your partner, but him and his friends, they'll get together on Saturday nights for board game night, right? Okay. And they'll start talking about when they were in high school or college, or about doing this or that, and they'll say what year it was, and I'll just kind of be sitting there and I'll be like, oh yeah, I was a freshman in high school. And they all stop and they all look at me like, shut the fuck up, because they were already graduated and going off and doing all that kind of stuff. So I love poking at that.
I've done that to two people in my life that I can think of. Okay, so one, I used to work at Pepsi Center in a position that involved working with off-duty cops. And
Right.
so there was one day where one of them was talking about when he graduated, and I was like, that was the year I was born. And then I walked out of the room, and he was a little displeased with me, but I did that to a doc that I worked for too. We were cleaning out his file cabinets. He finally gave us permission. He was, a keeper of all things.
He was a pack rat. Yeah.
Articles. He was a pack rat, and an amazing, amazing man. Passed away a couple years ago, but he was by far set the stage for me for my expectation of, if I work for somebody else, like what they should be.
Right.
Very, very low tolerance for bullshit after working for him, because he was so amazing. But I opened this drawer and I was sifting through these articles, and I'm like, keep in mind, he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was keeping articles, and medicine changes, right? And I was like, Joel, this arrow is the year I was born. And I stuck it in his mailbox, and he comes in the next day and he pulls it up and he looks at it and he rolls his eyes and he chucks it in the trash. And I was like, oh, you don't need to keep that? Are you sure? Now, he did have a sense of humor for the most part. There was one time, though, because we worked in GI, back when the drug reps could leave stuff for us. Yeah. There is Fleet, the enema people. Mm-hmm. They made Christmas ornaments, and they're Enaman. It's an enema bottle with a little cape, and they were Christmas tree ornaments. Oh. And I still have some. Oh. They are funny. We had a very special sense of humor in GI. Thank you very much. But we used to put a little mini Christmas tree up on my desk, and it was decorated entirely with Fleet Enaman ornaments. And Joel came in one day.
Oh, that sounds like the shit.
I thought it was hysterical. It was the shit. Thank you very much. It was absolutely the shit. But he came in one day, and my boss and I are sitting there having a conversation, and Joel's like, I would think the Christians would be offended. And we just looked at him and we're like, we are and we're not. Whatever.
Yeah, Joel. Whatever. Yeah.
He just walked away. I was like, have some fun, sir. Mm-hmm. Have some fun.
So here's something to make us feel extra old. Shikamaru. God. So Shikamaru's my roommate right now. Okay. And so when we have these board game nights, he's there too. And so when we have these conversations, he likes to tell them that he was 10 or not born yet. Yes.
Oh, I used to work with a girl. Okay, so we were working, and I was talking to one of the other employees in there, and we were reminiscing because it happened to be the anniversary of the Challenger exploding. Oh. And that bitch had the audacity to tell us that she wasn't born yet.
Open a history book. I don't care if you were born or not. Just like something like that.
She knew what we were talking about. She just wanted to be like,
yeah, rubbing it in a little bit.
And we're like, oh, you did not just say that, because mm-hmm. it is really disconcerting when you like these monumentally important things and somebody goes, I wasn't born yet.
Like 9/11.
Oh my God, we
all remember, but like.
There was a difference, though, and I'll tell you what the difference was. We watched the Challenger. Like, they wheeled the TV in on the big black cart, and they opened the divider so that I was in the second grade, we could watch both the classes together. Here's the difference. None of us knew at 8 years old what had just happened. The teachers knew, and I kid you not, they turned the TV off and they said, open your math books. We had no idea what was going on.
Right.
Now, fast forward to, I remember Oklahoma City. I
I
was in high
remember that
school.
too.
Things stopped.
Yeah.
We watched it. We had TVs in the classroom at that point, though, but we
Mm-hmm.
watched it. And then 9/11, like, shit just stopped, and people, had a response.
Yeah.
Whereas, no, we were told to open our math books. That was how we grew up.
I think that was a trauma response from their point, right? Because, like, I know for me when 9
That's a
11 hit,
gentle way to. That's a gentle way
say
to
that, I
think of
know.
that.
Um,
I think it was just they were like,
yeah, they
what the
didn't
hell
know
do
how
you
to,
do? Move on.
yeah. Like, my
They
sister
didn't want to
hadn't made it
explain
to
it.
school yet for 9 11, my youngest sister,
Yeah.
so she was home and she got to see everything. Like, for me, I heard in, like, before going to class,
Mm,
you are, like, flickering your lights, honey? What is going on in your room?
it's the TV.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Um, but yeah, like I didn't see anything until I got home. And I had
I
just been there for a choir trip, not even several months before. And we had just gone through, I don't know if you knew, but like the Twin Towers, in the basement, there was a mall that you went
mm-hmm,
through and to get to the subway and all that.
mm-hmm.
Like, we had just been there, we'd just gone through it. Like, so, like, really, and it's nothing compared to the people who actually live there or anything like that, but like, for me as like a freshman in high school, like that
Yeah.
hit different than like a lot of my peers.
So what hit different for me, I was there in 96 after I graduated. I did a semester abroad in
Mm-hmm.
Moscow. And as part of that, we spent 3 days in New York. So all the kids who were coming in from elsewhere and all the kids who were going out of the country, we all were in New York at the same time having sort of a thing. So we were at the Trade Center and we went up to the top. Now, sister's afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I am terrified of heights.
Yeah.
So being anywhere near, like, I didn't
I
look
would
out
no go up.
the
I would not go
window.
up this Statue of Liberty. Like,
Well, I
they could
didn't.
not get me up there. No.
On it, actually, we didn't get to go in. For some reason, she was closed. We got to
Mm,
go to the island, but we didn't get to go in.
gotcha.
Um, but no, we had gone up there. And again, I had been working sports and entertainment for 25 years before I left a couple of 4 years ago. Actually, it was 4 years ago. Um, Amazing how time goes. But when I went to the top, the company that I worked for is the company that ran the concession stand, because it wasn't really a restaurant, but the concession stand at the top of the Trade Center.
Yeah.
And I had bought a soda because I thought, that is so weird, because for the same soda, they charged 2.5 times the price that we did at home. And I was like, oh my God, that is so funny. And honestly, I carried that cup all the way to Moscow with me. Did not wind up bringing it home, but I carried it all the way with me because I thought it was so damn funny. And so when I was watching this, I was like, those people who are effectively getting paid minimum wage to pour sodas and grill hot dogs are at the very top. And everybody's talking about the office buildings. And I'm like, you do realize there were people,
Tons of people
who I could identify with, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't identify with Joe Blow in the financial sector. Like, I feel horribly for the entire thing, but it was very personal for me. And actually the day that was a Tuesday, because we had Monday Night Football the night before.
Yeah.
The Broncos and the Raiders, and I had worked.
Go Raiders.
And it was a different, yeah. I hate the Broncos, so you will not find me arguing. I
Thank
don't
you.
care. On principle, I hate the Broncos. I get butthurt at having to pay for their stadium, that we couldn't get tickets to a Broncos game if we wanted to, because they're just
astronomical.
You can't get them, you can't afford them.
No.
And yeah, so I'm like, why should I have to pay for your stupid stadium if I can't go there? But I could work there. And so it was a different company. They had weird ass things that they did. So we went in, And I went to school, like I went to my college courses that day, but nobody was having class. So I'm like,
Right.
I can't sit here. So I went back to work to go count the money that we had just locked in the vault the night before. Very weird time for everybody, but it was just, yeah. It's weird to hear what people are thinking, but that whole Challenger thing, damn, I wasn't born.
Yeah,
It's like,
it was just
fuck all the way off.
you gotta pour the salt in. Oh, Shemi agrees with you about the stupid
Bitch.
tax and says a friend of mine knows the family they are leasing the land from. Yeah.
I despise
Oh, and another
so
one of
many
those
things.
salts in the wounds about I wasn't born yet. Shikamaru says I was 2 in 9/11. Yeah. Yeah.
I was pregnant. I was pregnant with my oldest, and I did not know it yet.
There you go.
On 9/11, yeah.
I was locked in my mom's car during 9/11. That shit was wild.
Yeah.
That, I feel like that's a conversation for another day, because, like, I'm curious as fuck of why you were locked in your car. I mean, though, to be honest, I know, like, we are so far off topic from quilting, guys, and I know, and I'm sorry, and we will steer back there in just a second.
We'll get back there eventually.
Yeah, we'll get back there, because I there's some cool things I want to ask Amanda about. But, like, I know you know what I'm talking about, but, like, when I was a kid, my mom would leave me and my sisters in the car and run in for groceries real quick.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't think twice of it. But no. I would not think, I can't leave my kids in the car. I just wouldn't.
I'll be honest with you. There was a magical point when I was confident enough that they would not open the door for a stranger.
Yeah.
But if they got freaking hot, open the damn door.
Right, or roll down the window, right? Because
yeah.
I usually leave the car
because you have to have the car on. Well, I wouldn't leave the car on because not
if they're by themselves, but like usually like Luke will run in real quick and I'll sit in the passenger seat, and then so the car is on and all that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, to be fair, my youngest is 3. I think my oldest I could leave in the car, right? Because she's 11 now, and I have confidence in that. But it's just. Yeah. Like, it's not something
it's
you
different.
See.
It's different now. And it's honestly different because...
You have? This is the first time I'm hearing about it, Osh. Uh-huh.
I think it has less to do with our children and more to do with the nutcases who think, oh, child abuse. I'm like, they can open the door. Like, we're not talking about infants here.
I mean, it depends, though. Like, right now, I have child lock on because of my youngest. Right? So, in theory, my daughter could climb into the front seat. You only make that
mistake of not doing the child lock once.
Oh, yeah. And I love that there's a lock to lock the windows so I can make sure he's not rolling. Because he's got these giant-ass monster trucks that he likes to play with. And today, as we're waiting, he was trying to, like, vroom it out the window. And I'm like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, we were parked. So, like, but it was like, no, I'll roll out the window that's on the sidewalk. And you can do it there. Like, give me 5 minutes. She wanted to read. Okay, all right. All right. I'm not upset at you, Ash. You know I wouldn't be upset at you. I trust you. So silly. But so quilty stuff, and I know I'm getting a lot of people who are really loving our conversation. But I do want to turn a little bit to quilty stuff. I know I have to. I'm legally obligated. Okay.
I don't mind.
I know.
I can roll with any conversation.
I know you can. Your block for the Sprout Quilt Challenge is absolutely beautiful. I have not made it yet. I'm still, like, on Meg's block. I haven't even started cutting hers. I am so, like, massively intimidated. And it's like, I've done all those things before, but it feels like such a big block.
Don't be intimidated by hers. No. She broke it down so beautifully.
I saw her instructions.
So
and it's
beautifully. Yeah, she definitely simplified it and made it.
Well, your instructions are really good too, by the way. I like how the good figures and all of that stuff is really fantastic.
So yeah, full disclosure. So I am the world's laziest fucking piecer. Lazy.
And our week is precision piecing, okay?
It's a skill I need to work on.
Yeah.
And that's the way I approached it.
I like that.
Because it's a skill I need to work on. I know the things, with one exception. And I will give you the one exception.
Okay.
I really probably needed to rewind in my head all the way back to home ec when we did sewing and we learned how to lay things out.
Okay.
To cut them correctly.
Okay.
Like you do with clothing.
Right.
Okay, I haven't sewn clothing since my youngest was...
Well,
he was probably 5, and it was an adorable Halloween costume, a little parent.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. When you don't cut it right and it stretches oddly.
Yeah.
I did not place the templates in the optimum position on my fat quarter, so they were a little awkward to work with. Starch those things, man. Starch the living daylights out of those.
I'm a big starcher. I do enjoy starching.
I have been convinced.
You have come to the starch side.
I have come to the starch side. I absolutely have.
We need a shirt.
That involves
we need a shirt that has a starch bottle and says "Come to the starch side." We have pressed seams. Yeah.
Yes.
Why do we always come up with good merch?
I don't know, but are you taking notes? Because
oh God, where's
you can
Jody?
own that one
Jody,
because
take notes.
Nerdy.
I'm such a
That's
bad
a
note
nerdy
taker.
one, and that needs to have your branding on it, not mine.
Okay, I'm writing it down. I've got to find
something. Punny shit.
Yours is the snarky punny shit. I don't know. I've got a really snarky nerdy one. I can get down
with the nerdy stuff. Yeah. I don't like. I'm not a Star Wars person, but I can understand
I do like
the starch side.
Yeah.
My sister, man, she loves Star Wars, and I'm like,
Jody's taking notes. I don't have to take notes now. Jody's relieved me.
Oh, good, Jody. Thank you.
Jody's got it. She's good. Jody, I love you. You make my life so easy.
Jody. Because we all need that at H&H.
We do. We had just talked about
uniforms.
We had just talked about having a shirt that was like all of us could wear one day. It would have to be purple. You DM'd me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Shika. Yeah, but it has to be purple because if Stitch comes, I really want Stitch to come, but I understand, especially with everything going on that I'm not going to talk about here because she doesn't want it publicly announced.
We are not discussing.
But I want her to be able to come, and I know that she's planning on market, so I would be satisfied just to see her at market. You know what I mean?
I will be happy to see her wherever we can.
Yes.
I hope that she is blessed enough to be able to do all the things that she wants to do. So if she wants to go to H&H, I hope she can. So
yeah, I want to see everybody succeed. Like I want to see everybody in a position where it is not a huge financial strain on anybody to be able to do the things that we want to do. Like that is the energy that I am putting out into the universe.
Yes.
Not just for me, because sure, I could just do the shit and want to be greedy and focus on that. But how boring is that if I don't have anyone to talk to?
It's so not fun.
No,
I don't understand.
We had so much fun at market. No matter where we went, no matter what aisle I was in, chances were, a minute later, I was going to see one of you guys in an aisle.
Yeah.
And just catch up and be... And it was like that way at H&H. Speaking of H&H, guess what I just got in my email?
What did you just get?
So, everybody who is a longtime follower of the stream, y'all remember we did special streams at H&H in the Creator Studio. And it kind of has been back and forth on whether or not, I was officially going to go. I've booked my ticket. I think I'm rooming with you. I'm not 100% sure because we're trying to get Oshemi to come with us because, we want Oshemi to come. And I don't think we want him sleeping on the floor in your room because that would be awkward. But, I got the email from Darren and Nadia this is where I feel really blessed to know and be able to reach out to these people. And Whiskey had told me too. She's like, you should just reach out to Darren. He's so nice. I'm like, I know Darren's nice, but he's so fucking busy. He's getting ready for a huge convention, right? He doesn't have time for a little peon like me.
Yeah.
Well, he emailed the little peon and sent me the link before anyone else for the Creator Studio. So I already got 3 damn bookings. So we're going to be streaming at the Creator Studio for H&H in May, guys. So you better be ready. You guys better come out in droves and support the stream. Like, except for everybody in the chat who will be at H&H, which is pretty much 90% of the stream.
It does feel that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a lot of lurkers, and, I mean, Twitch runs on the backbone of lurkers, so, like, yeah. I love my lurkers. Lurkers unite. You know, it's okay.
Yeah,
but my active chatters are all going to be at H&H this year. You'll be there. You'll be here in the channel. You're right, Chica. You are. You're always the exception. You are not the exception, Purple. Purple needs to come to H&H.
Yes.
You should sneak in Joe's suitcase and come in. Right? Like, that's not going to be unhealthy or anything, or break your body as you get shipped through a suitcase, right?
I think it'll work. It'll get fine. A little cold. It's not pressurized down there, so...
Yeah,
Mike could be a little uncomfortable. Mm-hmm.
Well, we could put her in the overhead compartment. How about we just all pitch in and get her a ticket, and then she can just sit next to Joe instead of being in the overhead compartment? I think that's a better idea.
That would make some more sense, yeah.
Yeah. But, so, I'm excited for H&H, obviously, and you're coming to H&H this year, yeah?
Yes.
I better get starting doing the yoga. Oh, man. I better start doing yoga, too, man, just so I don't have so much turkey flab, right? God damn it.
I need to get back on track.
Well, and honestly, that kind of I keep trying to turn back to the block, but you bring up... That's how you and I met. Was because of my post about me going to the gym. I didn't even know.
That gym looks familiar.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you, A, were a quilter, B, that you took the same course as I did. We were just in completely different groups. It just so happened that, hey, you were local and you were looking for somebody to go to the gym with. And I was like, yeah. And then you had your surgery, and we couldn't meet up, and it was like a whole another 6 months before we even got to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the universe works in very funny ways.
It really does, and it was pure dumb luck, because I had rolled into Patty's, and you had wandered in just to talk to her about your patterns, and I'm like, I know you.
Yeah, we were getting ready to meet, like, later in the week or something for our first gym meetup or something like that. And you were standing there, and I'm like, I think that's Amanda. Because I'm so bad with names and everything like that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't have my picture.
No, you don't. You don't.
So
I was really anxious about it too, because I'm like, okay, she wants to go to the gym. She's probably the skinny little thing that's probably all fit and all that other. And then it's like, I see you and you're like, oh, you're just like me. All right, I dig this. All right, let's do this. I like it. I mean, you're not like me. You're much more fit than I am, but you know what I mean, right? We're short, full people, right?
I got some of them damn prepped for the winter peasant curves from the northern, Scandinavian
prepped
roots.
For the winter peasant curves. Oh, Chevy, is that what I've got? Because I think mine are more Baroque. Those Baroque naked women on the paintings that are like curve upon curve upon curve upon curve. I can't
claim that. Like,
oh my god,
I am so Scandinavian that I can't claim any of that. Like, I'm Scandinavian and German.
Baby bearing hips. Shut the fuck up. Go away. Don't come in here with those baby bearing hip bullshit.
We don't want that energy.
No.
None of that
no more
energy.
Babies. No more. This is a baby free zone now. Thank you very much. I tried to have the procedure so I couldn't have kids anymore, and they wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. I had a conversation, and this was the last time that I was at that particular office, where I asked about what my more permanent options would be, because I wanted.
Oh, Shami, I'm not even reading that in the channel. I'm not acknowledging that.
No. Well, so she, like, I'm sorry. There are sometimes I have zero tolerance, as I mentioned. I used to work for
Mm-hmm.
doctors. I have zero tolerance for bad doctors.
Yeah.
And she was definitely one of those. And that woman would not give me the time of day. She gave me one answer that after like 2 weeks later, I happened to be talking to my good friend from high school. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I was told that by a bunch of docs, but I just got with this new one who said, hey, by the way, the reason they recommend that is because they can go through twice as many and charge twice as much." And I went, evil. So I'm sure we were probably discussing we wanted the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
neither one of us were going to get it. I just got told an alternative versus no.
Yeah, I got so the person who like was my doctor through all of Xander's birth and everything,
Hmm.
was fine with everything until I mentioned, hey, what are my options to not have any more kids? And then she
Hmm.
handed me off to the next person because she was super
Hmm.
Catholic and didn't believe in contraceptive, which
Honestly,
was
I
so
could I
frustrating.
could on it I could forgive that if that had been this lady's
Right.
take. I could forgive her for that.
Yeah.
This wasn't it. She had not given, like, she gave me, no, it
No
was
thought a
just,
day.
I'm not looking at your chart. I'm not, no, this is what I would recommend. And I'm like, it was the weirdest.
Yeah. And you just
Yeah,
feel so
I was like, oh,
dismissed,
you are
right?
awful.
Amy's so hard with
So
that kind of stuff.
dismissed.
Cause
Yeah.
like I eventually was, cause I was very adamant. Like, no, I don't want any more kids.
Mm-mm.
I'm getting older. It's not fun. I just went through that procedure and got COVID and like almost fucking died. I don't want to do this again.
No.
Like, no. And to be honest, like we were shocked when we found out we were pregnant with Xander. Like it was not expected. I'm very
Yeah.
thankful that we have him. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but like it was not planned.
Yeah.
But they did like do an IUD because they just
Yeah.
would not do the other thing, and it was
Well,
like,
and I've had that since, I mean, the better part of that's the direction we went
yeah,
after the first kid, and took a break obviously for the second one. But I was like, I'm kind of over it,
yeah,
and there's still a risk with that. I'm like, again,
true.
they're gonna be 19 and 22 here in a couple months, and I'm like, I don't want to go
You don't need a change
backwards.
of life, baby. Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, 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 no,
All the guys
no.
in the chat room are going, ah.
Suck it up,
Yeah, suck it
boys.
up, Buttercup.
Suck
You
it
got
up.
it. You're here. You're not going anywhere. All right, you got this. But I am gonna talk about quilting for a minute. And I promise, I swear to God, my goldfish brain won't get distracted again. But trust me, to be honest, I wouldn't want a kid. Of course, Shikamaru. My delicate man brain.
Oh, get over it.
Oh, he is. It's Cotty. He's being a little
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, yeah. I'm very fortunate that the group of guys that I have surrounding me are pretty okay with my
Yeah.
shenanigans. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But your block, so you call it light in the darkness, and you have this tendency, for anybody who is looking to decode a super secret message, Amanda uses music as referencing for names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does this block
Please don't
also?
ask. Yes, it does. And please don't ask me what song, because I didn't write it down.
Oh, God,
It's on a list. It's on a list, and I move them when I use them.
yeah.
And usually they're kind of stuck in clusters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I might pull phrases from, 3 or 4 phrases from the same song. And so I could kind of um I'll get back to you. I'll figure it out
Please do, cause
by the end
like
of the week. I'll figure it out by the end of the week.
I
But yeah, they all
love the
come from
name of this
songs
one.
except for um A Quilt with No Name is a pun.
Yeah, but
And
it's also a horse with no name.
Yes. So it's an easy
So
one
it's
to figure out, but a
based
quilt
off
with
of
no
a
name.
song.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Underwater basket weaving is absolutely the number one. That was the first pattern I ever designed. I'm totally partial to it. It is the funnest, fastest thing that you can piece. It is super fun. Um, Fabulous thing. You can do it with Christmas fabrics. You can do it with anything you want.
Right.
It looks like plaid. It's awesome. Um, that is not named after a song, obviously. And there's one other one. I did take it off of my site for the time being because I haven't redone it in design.
Mm.
So that one is also not after a song. It is Not All Who Wander, which is,
Yeah. Yeah.
where did it come from?
Well, it's Peter Pan, isn't it? Something
My
like that?
my
No?
nerdy friend. How could you not know this one?
I see that quote, not all who wander are lost,
Wander Are
on
Lost.
so many things. Like
You don't know where it comes
the
from?
main thing I see it on, the reason why I thought it was Peter Pan is because you see it around Tinkerbell.
Lord of the Rings. It's Lord of the Rings. It's part of a longer quote, but it's in Lord of the Rings.
See, I read all the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I don't remember that as being
It's
something
in
that
there.
really stuck
It's
out to
really
me.
just a
It's so
minor.
funny because, like, you would think that would be quoted because it's such like a present quote.
It's a commonly quoted.
Right.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
But like
It's everywhere.
nobody really catches on to that. Like, there's so many things that you can quote from the Lord of the Rings,
There's
but
so
that's
many
not the one I
gems.
think
There are
of.
so many gems out of there.
It's from the Fellowship of the Ring, Sheikah says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of a benign
Quote.
portion. It's just I forget where it came. Yeah, but that's where it's from.
It's been
But
a long
yeah,
time
so
since
those are
I've
the
read
only
those
ones.
books. I'm gonna have to go back and reread them.
Yeah.
I don't get as much time. I still love to read, but I haven't read. God, I haven't read like I used to read in high school and younger since probably like my first year of college. Like, I just don't sit down and read for joy anymore. Or that's not true.
College just kills you.
Well,
You have to read all those books that you don't
all
care
of
about.
Harry Potter, I read all of that. The last book, though, took me forever because it was such a slog to get through that. The depressive marsh area where they're just traveling from spot to spot and they're just being whiny little bitches. Like,
I read that in one night.
That was so hard for me to get through.
I read it in one night. I went to the grocery store. That was the only one.
I've read all of them, like, within, like, a couple hours of getting them, but that one. Like, it just...
The worst one, the worst freaking one was The Order of the Phoenix. The worst
See, I
freaking
loved The
one.
Order of the Phoenix.
No, it had that entire part where she's, Hermione's like, oh, the elf, whatever it was. And I'm like, the entire thing, all the shit that they cut out of the movies, that I'm like, it was just this entire bridge. It was a very, 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 very long, necessary, but very long bridge.
Well, and I feel like she was trying to do some world building and kind of like trying to build off of the Dobby situation and all that. And, looking back, it's just, I could see that.
It was a long one. It was a long one, and there was a lot of stuff. I feel the same way. I don't know if you've ever read the Outlander series.
No.
Okay. Really good series, but if you start it, skip over the first 50 pages of the first book, you'll never miss it. It's fine. She goes to Scotland with her husband and just skip over the first 50 pages. The fifth book, it must be
a Scottish
something about
sex
the fifth book.
series. That's what they're calling it in the channel.
Phenomenal. Yes, it's phenomenal.
All right, you just have to say sex, okay? I'll read it now.
But
I
she's
agree
very
about
good. She
Outland being
very,
hot.
very, very good. She's very good with
Whiskey's
her
on
historical retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
TJ. Oh my God. Yeah, but she is very good. I majored in history, and it annoys the ever-loving shit out of me when somebody presents something as a serious historical. Like, it's not serious, obviously, time travel, but whatever. Her historical component is spot on. Like, she
Okay.
researches the crap out of it. And so it's really a good, refreshing kind of a smut novel with a plot.
Right. They all
That
have plots
said,
somewhere around the way.
though, book 5, the only way that I got through it was to download it on Audible because, again, it's a really long, very necessary bridge.
Yeah. That's
But
why
it's
Oshemi
like,
says he does Oshemi does nothing but Audible because he's always driving. Like, he's got a work van, he's going up the mountain that's a 4-hour drive one way most of the time. Like, he's got his Audible on and he's listening to his series. He got me hooked on this one. There's 2 series. One's called The NPCs. I forget what the full name is. But the other one is He Who Fights with Monsters, or Fights Monsters, something like that. Super good. If you're good into fantasy and stuff like that, it's I highly recommend it.
Yeah, not huge into fantasy. The only time
It's very D&D-ish.
Okay. The only time I struggle with Audible, and I make this mistake repeatedly, I get a business book or something like that because I'm a note taker.
Yeah.
And I also have to see because I don't know about you. I don't know. I have yet to talk to anybody who can do this. So whenever I would write a paper or whatever in college and I was trying to flip back, like, I could tell you exactly where the quote was on the page. And so I would just flip through the pages looking at that one spot to find what I needed. But I find myself getting super distracted when I'm listening to stuff on Audible. And so I know within like the first 2 chapters whether or not I need to order the stupid book.
Right.
And it gets a little frustrating because you're like, dude, I just paid money to get on Audible.
And usually the Audible books are more expensive because, they're paying voice actors and stuff. Well, that's how I am with the note-taking thing. Like, I figured out how to do that back, because you said you were a history major. I was an art major, and my favorite classes next to animation was art history. Those were my favorite.
That is why I did not double major.
Yeah. But, like,
was art history.
I would draw, like, in my own style, like, these little thumbnail sketches, and then have my notes next to it. So then when I'm studying, not only am I watching and listening to what they're doing on the lecture, but then I also have my notes that are reaffirming. So when I would go back to study, I would see my thumbnail again, and it would reaffirm the information. So then when we would go to take the test, I could remember it so much better because I wrote it down. I wrote my notes down. I did an image and like, and it's the same thing with like any of these courses that we're taking for learning and all this other boot camp shit. I have to. It takes me 3 times as long to do anything, but at least I'm retaining it. Like, I know where I struggle. I am a goldfish brain. I am self-professed. I will not be ashamed of myself for that, right?
No.
I'll know your face, but I won't remember your name. I'm sorry. That's my kind of brain. So I have to take that time if I'm actually going to learn this stuff. And so I have certain workshops that I haven't finished yet because it's just like the last one that I did with a couple of the other people in the group. It was back in fall. I got through, like, maybe the first day worth of content, and there were, like, 3 more days, and I haven't done it yet. Because, like, shit happens, right? Eventually, one of those things that I've kind of tried to remind myself and come to terms with is that there's going to be busy times and slow times, right? Not everything is going to feel like the end of the world, go, 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 even though that's kind of where I'm at right now in my cycle. I'm at the, oh my god, I'm a chicken with a head cut off. But I'm going to get to that point where things are going to slow down. Like right now, everything is like full steam ahead for me for spring going into H&H. But after H&H, I don't have anything besides maybe going to market this year if it's on the in the cards, that kind of thing. Yeah. I don't have any launches planned. I don't have any of that planned. So I feel like the summer is going to be a slow time for me to be able to catch up on some of this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think I need to plan it a little more that way, even though, like, we just had a meeting for Sprout of like, okay, what's next, guys?
Yeah.
Yet you seem to attract things to do. Okay, listen. I'm getting called out here, Amanda. Help.
Well, did you expect something different?
No. That's why I love the people in my life.
The key, I think, is we have to figure out how to strike that balance. And I'm trying really hard. So this year, other people do like a word of the year.
Yeah.
I have never done that before, but I've decided to do it this year.
Ooh, what's your word?
The word of the year on the business side of things and sort of personal is execute, because I am really good at planning and researching and writing all the things down and looking and writing lists and everything.
Yeah.
Actually finishing shit is a problem. Following through is a problem. I can absolutely plan all of the projects in the world, but finishing them is a different story. So there's that. But then I decided that for a multitude of reasons, the focus for the year for Quilt It List is going to be surrounding kind of de-stashing. Because I want to clear out some of that old energy, there's absolutely nothing wrong
much
with
in
it.
my stash that I have not looked at or touched. And am I really going to use it? Like, I don't think so.
I want to do easy stuff that I can donate. You know what I mean? Like, I want to piece a bunch of tops. I'm not putting on myself that I have to quilt them and bind them and then take them. At this point, baby steps, I'm just going to piece tops.
Right.
Because I've got stash I want to blow through that I'd like to clear out, because I would like to think that now that we are in lookbooks and now that I'm sort of fostering a relationship with another company as well with design calls, I'm hoping that I can start getting,
the ball rolling on that.
Yes, and therefore I can get stuff that fits in, with where I'm headed, not necessarily where I've been. So I'm like, I'm going to focus on getting stuff out. So I'm going to do some, thank you, TJ, some plug and play assets.
I know, right? So many good ideas. I was working on that last night for the launch I'm planning. But I think it's one of those things that I'm kind of trying. Sorry. God, I will be so upset if I'm getting sick.
I would be if I were you too, yeah.
I just got over being sick. Like, you remember Christmas was miserable.
Vitamin D, and zinc.
Yeah. But so I'm trying to kind of come to terms, because my New Year's resolution was to try. TJ says you're welcome, by the way. Is to try and say no to things, right? And Oshemi points out that I just attract things. Let's not talk about the email I got this morning where I might have just gotten myself really booked into another project.
Here's the question. Is it going to further your goal?
That's where I'm going with my conversation is... It's so easy to say, well, I should say no to things, and it's more important, like people around you say, it's more important of the things you say no to, right? But at the same time, I'm building an empire here, right? And I'm trying to get this engine going, and I'm trying to get it burning hot really fast, right? And I'm trying not to burn out, though I just kind of went through a mini burnout not that long ago, and I'm accepting of that, right? I'm pushing myself really hard, and I'm gonna burn. And but
I don't know if you've ever seen this Instagram page. It's most of the time it's pretty good, but sometimes hit or miss.
Yeah.
They clearly English is not their first language, and they out themselves every now and again. But business growth mentor or something like that. Okay. I forget what the thing is. So I just saw, on one of their posts yesterday or the day before, that it was basically the sentiment that learn to rest, not quit. And so my whole focus, because I've always been in this cycle, like my whole life has always been a cycle, even back to college. Like if I could just get to the end of the semester, if I could just get to that blah, 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 just get. And so now I'm trying to be really mindful of not sinking down into that. Like, I don't want to let myself spiral, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose a month where if I had just slowed down for that day,
Yeah.
I would have been fine.
Well, and I'm like writing in my book, take it easy today. Like, because it's important for me to like visually see that. Because Purple says Rome wasn't built in a day, but I don't have the time of Rome to be built, right?
True, but here's where my brain went like aftermarket, right?
Yeah.
Because you and I have talked about, I got one of the same emails that you did, and the one part I'm like, so it was not even really applicable to me. It was a
Right.
form letter, but they had included at the bottom something else that I was like, at the time, I wasn't sure that I wanted to include that, because my thought going into this calendar year was making sure that I could have the flexibility to say yes to the things that will be that 20% effort that results in 80% of my results, but that I had the ability to say yes to that I didn't pack my schedule so full that I couldn't say yes to those opportunities.
Right.
So it's the discernment that you need to identify those that are going to serve you versus saying yes to something that you're like, well, it might be a good thing, but
well, and I think a lot of it for like our industry specifically, when we say yes to something, it's not an immediate thing that's happening today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Typically, when we're saying yes to something, or sure, we'll see where this goes, it's a we're gonna work on this for the next month or two, and then maybe it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm a very impatient person for myself. Like, I can be very patient for anybody else, but anything for myself, I'm very impatient for.
Oh yeah.
So knowing that I have to, because I feel like life just keeps pushing in my face this lesson over and over again of, hey, we've tried to tell you to slow the fuck down and be patient about this, right? And I'm learning slowly but surely. Enough times, if it's a fish smacks you in the face, you're gonna learn eventually, right? But again, it's with our industry is learning how to, because it always feels like I've noticed just by us in our group and the different groups that we're in, that we're kind of like almost like mentorship things, but they're like more like just business meeting stuff. There's always like, you're working on this thing that's going to happen in 6 months, as well as working on the thing that you started last month that's going to be in 4 months, and working on this thing here that'll be on this. Like, you're constantly kind of juggling shifts around, and that's where like having the lists and knowing where you're at on certain things of, okay, so, I was accepted into the Creative Spark program for C&T. We had a meeting this morning, a cohort meeting, right?
Okay.
And I didn't know what to expect, but it was 5 other women and myself who have been accepted into the C&T Creative Spark program, and the videographer and 2 of the main people, the editors for Creative Spark, were at this meeting going through what it is, what we're doing, what we can expect. And it's pretty much giving us like this, it's a 3 meeting kind of thing. And they're pretty much like, it's almost like a masterclass worth of information, as far as like, because they have all these resources about recording videos and editing videos and the lighting for videos and this and that and the other thing. And like, a lot of that I'm not going to need necessarily, but like how to write scripts for videos, how to like, one of the big things I liked was the fact, and it's one of these things where I've been trying to learn about it for a while, because I want to start making YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
But learning how to...
I need to, I don't want to.
Write my outlines, right? But not only just writing an outline of what's going to happen here, there, but including what shots need to be done.
Yeah.
What shots it needs to be, if it needs to be B-roll, and where I need to insert marketing shots at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of things that, you know, you don't necessarily think about, but it's showing me, like, all this stuff, and it's like, fuck. Yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love when you happen upon that stuff, however it works, where it's presented in such a way that you're like,
it clicks.
Oh, wait a minute. This is not as hard as I was making this in my head.
Well, and I think
there's
helps
a structure to it.
Is that it's people in our industry, in our creative, and not even just like in the fiber realm, but like specifically in the quilting realm, who are doing these workshops and doing these presentations specifically with examples from our lives, our industry. Like, that really helps click, because then I can see how it's applicable in that respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chat, before I forget, if you have questions for Amanda, I know I have not been very good at paying attention to you. I am sorry. I will feed you the fishy food at some point. Oh my god. Have you seen the Aliso new iron from Tula Pink? It's the bright pink one. It's the bright pink one. So I saw it at Market. I think I told you about my interaction at Market with Tula and the Aliso people.
No, I didn't. I did see that iron at Market when I was talking.
Did you see what was on the bottom?
Yeah, the fish.
Yeah, don't feed the fish.
Yeah.
I love that. It
Yeah.
made me happy. It made me laugh.
So did I tell you that my mother for my birthday, for whatever reason, gave me the mini?
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Ooh, do you like it?
I was like, why did you do that? I love it. I have that was the first reel. I haven't posted it yet. I need to post it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've been very good with your social media. Big round of applause.
Better than I was, but still not where I need to be.
Gingerberry wants to hear about the new project, she says. She wants to hear more. Gingerberry, do you know what project she was talking about? I don't know how far back that was. I opened up she said, I saw Gingerberry had said on Instagram that she was coming with questions. And I'm like, well, as long as they're not from me. That one that Amanda briefly mentioned. Can your brain remember? Because my goldfish brain don't remember.
More specific.
She is working on it right now. Okay, which of the 5 projects you're working on right now? You were very cagey. I feel like this is a game of charades. Was it on social
media?
Was it on social media, or was it during this stream? This is like a game of charades. I love this. This is great. This stream.
Oh. Well, the two that I was
it's a pattern deal.
And I shipped. Yeah, so the 2 that I just shipped today, both of those patterns will be released April 1st.
Yep.
And there's another one that is similar but not the same. Same block. Actually looks kind of like the Sprout block. A little bit different. That will also be out April 1st. And we may or may not see that kitted this summer with a fabric line.
At Fabric Play, or?
No.
Oh. Online.
An online shop that we will all have seen ads for on our Facebook.
I'm excited.
Okay. I have heard, though, that they have done this to designers where they have said, we want to kit this, and then they wind up not.
Yeah.
So our friend has had this come up twice, and one time they kitted it and one time they did not.
Was this
So I'm
whiskey or
not
was this somebody else?
our local friend.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Okay. So I don't want to say
No, it's okay.
who it was.
We're not trying to be cagey. We're just trying to
No,
protect people's privacy.
I don't know if I'm allowed.
Right, that's the hard
Right.
part, right? Like, especially
And
with
that, some
fabrics
of
and
it, we don't know
stuff.
the rules, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, learning what each individual, because I will say the company
That is
that
tough,
you
yeah.
and I are sending stuff to right now, like, I'm still trying to figure out. I have every intention. I will confirm that they don't care if I send the patterns to the distributor, but I
Right.
need to find out, do you want me to change the cover for the time being? I don't want to do
I
that,
mean,
but
from what Kate said, she doesn't. So I'm not planning on
she
changing
doesn't.
it.
She puts it, I'm not planning on changing it either.
Yeah.
She said as soon as the lookbook goes public, she just puts it on her website, but she doesn't put posts on social media. And I'm like, I can deal with that, but I've invested enough time and energy into it. I don't want to hold back the possibility of not only that, but really, let's be honest, if a shop looked at my site and did not see the pattern, would they then reach out and ask me about it? Or would they just assume that it wasn't ready?
So I will tell you, because I've come
Hmm.
across that situation with when I was in talks with the first UK show,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
looked at my even though I had physical samples at market, I don't think they remembered about that. But they looked at
Hmm.
my website and only saw PDF.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Well, PDF, I don't know." I'm like, I have physicals of all of these. I'm just not
Yeah.
selling them to the public and shipping them because I don't have that capability. And
Yeah.
you have a lookbook that shows like 3 patterns that aren't even out yet or listed. Like,
Hmm.
I need to eventually make a catalog that kind of has that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, because I didn't have those there, they automatically assumed, and if that was a regular shop, they're not going to reach out to me.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot by not having it on my site. And
Right.
not to mention, if somebody wants to buy the pattern, I'm going to sell it to them.
Yeah.
And so I will confirm with regards to the distributor, but I also had wanted to have that to talk to the other distributor at
Mm-hmm.
H&H. So there are those 3 patterns. I submitted another new one to a company, I guess 2 weeks ago, maybe. I have no idea when they were scheduled to make their decisions on that. But that said, the one that they shared with the online shop, um, they didn't accept for their lookbook. So
Mm.
I am now approaching that in my head with, I will still submit something,
Yeah.
because who knows what will come of it. So
Right.
that one, I said, has a due date of June. And so that one actually came from the Block Remix Challenge that Kate and Tammy are
Right.
hosting.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll have to do that one. So that's another one. Now, I have 7 patterns that I have scheduled this year.
See, like, people were giving me shit last fall about all those patterns I was sending to Adele and all that. My patterns are tiny compared to yours and everybody else's. Like,
Well,
you guys are going.
to be fair, so one of them is done
Mm.
already. I need to send it to Copyright Office first.
See,
That's the one I want to
that's the one
send.
thing that I'm lacking is I need to do all of that, and I kind of it's a
Well, that I
money issue.
it's not, yeah, it's not. This one I will send to the Copyright Office first
Yeah.
for reasons.
Right.
Because I need a question answered. So before
Oh.
I send that one public, I need a question answered. And they have to answer it. So I will do that one but that one's already done, right?
Right.
And then 2 of the April ones are similarly constructed as far as the pattern themselves.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of tedious color changes and that kind of thing, so not a huge issue, but I feel so much better about getting through the patterns. And to be fair, most of the time now I write them up.
Yeah.
Maybe not, on the computer, but I write them up before I even piece, because that way I can piece the initial mock-up
Right.
and then identify massive issues if there are any. But I've gotten it down to kind of a good, I don't
Well, and
want to
that's
say a
kind
fine
of
science, but
the joy of like writing enough patterns and having like a catalog. Bedtime for me.
mhm.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Cotty. Thank you so
Good
much for
night.
coming, my friend. Again, people in channel, if you need any video editing, Cotty is flipping fantastic. I was gonna cuss, but I'm trying to be better. We're family friendly at 9 o'clock at night. Um, but yes, Cotty is an amazing editor and very reasonably priced, I might add, for considering how much like our time is valued at. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Jody asks, so if it is in a lookbook, you can't post about it, and
So
that's
this
not
is
true.
fabric company specific,
Yeah.
is what we have kind
And
of
this
determined.
specific, it's Island Boutique. We can talk
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah.
They are very. Kate describes it as conservative in the way they handle, their fabric getting out and all that other stuff, which
Yeah.
doesn't really make sense in the current landscape of how marketing and social media and everything
Yeah.
works. Because like for her, as she is, and okay, let me just say how stupid it is that as many lines of fabric she has created for Island Boutique, she's only a guest designer.
They're
Like,
all
I know, except for one
except
person.
for the
I
one.
think
Yeah.
that's so. Bleh. Like, I don't like it. But I feel like that gives them
Yeah.
freedom in what they're doing, right?
Yeah. Well, so they're I think they're missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, but
But are
because
they,
I
though?
don't want to get
Like, for
I
them and their.
personally, I would like, in their minds, apparently not, but I'll be honest, I think they're missing an
I
opportunity
think
that
they're
they don't know they're
stunting.
missing.
They're stunting
They're
themselves.
stunting themselves, yeah.
But at the same
Um,
time, they've got ambassadors. Like
well,
Brittany
so
Bobbins is an ambassador for Island Boutique, and she's very
yeah,
current
but
on the
here's a
things.
question. Here's a question for you, because I just saw, I think in the pattern designer page, Swan has a beautiful line
Hmm.
coming up. And I was like, I'm going to email
Oh, is that the
our friend
purple
over
one?
at Island Boutique. Yes,
Hmm.
I want to know, can I recolor these 2 patterns in Swan's line?
Is Swan's line an Island Boutique line, though?
Yes.
Oh, I don't see why not. Good night,
So
purple.
I'm going to ask them, Night Purple, I'm going to ask them, because if I can drum up, because if I can't post it in the line that it's going to be in the lookbook in,
Yeah.
can I post the pattern in Swan's line and say this pattern is going to be released, because that would drum up more interest in the pattern.
It would.
So I'm going to ask, because
No
the
hurt in
agreement
asking.
is there's no harm in asking, and I figure the worst that they can do is tell me no.
Right?
I don't think they will, because it's their fabric.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
So I'm going to see about that, and I won't do it for Kate's line, but I would do it for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I think the other one is more, it's foundation paper piece, but I
Mm.
think it'll be a more broad, it'll have a broader base.
A broader appeal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing that might limit the other one is what I consider a need. Like, yeah, there are templates included in the pattern, but you wouldn't catch me. There's no amount of money that would have me cutting these pieces with templates.
Mm-hmm.
So it is made with AccuQuilt, and that is hands down like
The way to go with it. Yeah.
Yep.
Have you reached out to AccuQuilt about possibly doing like a affiliate program or something?
I'm going to do that. Well, I am an affiliate with them through Share a Sale, but I'm going to reach out to them after these two are released.
Right.
Specifically because I don't necessarily want to design for them.
Right.
Because I don't envision that being a stellar.
You should reach out to them before to let them know, hey, here are 2 quilts that I'm getting ready to release, and I will be promoting your thing.
But here's the thing, I don't know if I can.
Why wouldn't you?
With the fabric company.
Yeah, but you're not... I mean, but you're preparing it, you're promoting it on your page, right? In your social media and stuff.
I can't show the quilts. I can't show that one until January.
But what you could show is making the block in a different fabric using the AccuQuilt.
Yes, but that's part of the reason why
you're looking for Swan.
I'm thinking options, right?
Right.
I'm kind of open at this point as to what I want to do. I don't necessarily want to piece that quilt again.
Right.
I might, because it really was fun, but I think I'll get it out of my system a little bit when I piece the other one that is same block,
right,
different quilt.
Yeah.
Because it's also smaller. Is the thing. I don't know about you, but like you deal in a lot of small things. I deal in a lot of large things. And sometimes I'm like,
that's not
fuck my life.
That's a new thing for me, is working in small things. Yeah, because I prefer working in larger things. I mean, have you seen the template I'm doing for the stream quilt that we're working on this year? Mm-hmm. I'm working on a king size bed quilt. It's all applique.
I like the large things.
It's all applique.
I'm running out of space.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of why a lot of my stuff appeals to overseas, in the UK and stuff, where they have smaller apartments and all that kind of stuff, right? Because having these wall quilts really appeals. And a lot of even my large works are still small compared to like regular quilt, right? Petal Dance is a 55 by 65. No, I think it's smaller than that. I think it's 45 by 65. And then Tipsy Tea, which will be coming out in May. I think I'm planning that for May release. Right at market time. Right? I want to launch it right before market.
My launches on... but I do soft launches. I don't do that whole, like, I know lots of people do, but I'm like, I would just prefer to get them out and then talk about them.
The one for Island Boutique, that one's a soft launch. Just like Pumpkin at Halloween was kind of a soft launch. You know, I just kind of, and then it kind of goes away because I hate having boom, boom, boom. And it just kind of lines up that way. Because these quilts, like especially Tipsy Tea, it's a springy feel. It's not a fall feel. It's not like, for me, tea time, English tea time is like a springy, summery thing to have outside and enjoy. Right? I know plenty of people do it all the time. But, like, for me, my quilt feels more springy, right?
It does feel that way, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, everything right now is, like, in that realm. So I kind of am just trying to... And that's the same kind of thing that happened in the fall. You know, I had Petal Dance, and I had Pumpkin, and I had Winter's Whimsy, and it was just boom, boom, boom. I need for it to be that way.
Pace mine out, because even the ones that are done or that are relatively... straightforward to do. I want to pace them a little bit. So that reminds me, I probably should this week just submit that one.
You should just do it. Just do it
and get that.
We'll get the memes out
because, that'll be. They're usually about 6 weeks out, so that would still be first quarter. But I could probably get Quilt It list is going to have one this year that is off of my Quilt It list that is not going to be part of the D stash thing,
Night
but
whiskey.
night that is not going to be part of the D stash, but
Mm-hmm.
rather it came off of my Quilt It list as I wanted to do a monochromatic with one splash of color.
Right.
And so it's I need to quilt it. It'll be fun.
Good
I
night,
have
Jody.
to. Night,
Everybody's
Jody.
saying good night. We're creeping up on the 10 o'clock, and everybody's turning into pumpkins on us. But that's okay. It's
happens.
late. Yeah.
Yeah.
But finish your thought. I'm sorry.
You're fine. So I have 2 customer quilts to do, and then possibly 4. I suppose I should probably text her.
That's a conversation we should have later because I want to hear all the goodies about all of that.
Nothing has changed yet.
Oh, good.
I keep thinking I should text her, and then I think about it at like 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, well.
So I'm gonna message you tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna be like, hey, do it. Just do it.
Okay. Well, I will be quilting tomorrow, or at least loading something on the frame.
But you can take 5 minutes to text it.
I know, but meaning
you don't want to stop and interrupting. That. Yeah, I could get that.
Well, no, not necessarily. It's just that my brain will be
quilting.
In the quilting. Yeah,
that's true.
So, but this one, I'm not 100% sure how I want to quilt this one, but I do know that our favorite local quilt shop wants to carry this one. They want to carry.
See, that's so nice. I'm so happy for you. I wish that I'm trying to build more relationship, but like, none of the local ones I've really kind of clicked necessarily with, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a bunch of relationships built. I am toying with the idea this year of doing Quilt Affair, though.
I don't know what that means.
It's a 3-day thing, which makes it really unappealing in the sense that being up there for 3 days at the Boulder County Fairgrounds.
Oh. Is it a market or wholesale market, or what is it?
It is a market. So, like, I've gone every year for a few years now, and there's usually a wide variety of shops from all over. Like, it's a little quilt. I mean, it's quilts. So Swan was there this past year. So I thought about messaging her and finding out, was it worth it? He's got a larger catalog than I do, so probably.
So who are the people who are buying then? Is that shops that are buying, or are these people in general that are buying?
I think all of the above.
Okay. Well, let me know. Give me, like, I'll let you do the research.
I'm gonna find out.
And then
let me know the information.
Because that might be something that maybe you and I can go in on and like be able to share. We can split our booth, and it'll help cover some of the costs and the insurance and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know
if that's even allowed.
To reach out to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like at H&H, they won't let you do that.
Well, in H&H, I don't think we'll let you do that either. I think it has to be. Well, that's a whole nother conversation, and it is 10 o'clock. So yeah. I'm going to put the hammer down and see, like, okay, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
I could talk for hours with you. I always enjoy our conversations.
Well, you and I do have that ability to get sidetracked. Very easily.
That's true. That's very true. But there's so much to talk about, right? It's like all the different shiny things, but in conversation form. Like, okay, let's talk about like, where are we ending up today?
And it doesn't help that we spend a lot of time focusing on stuff by ourselves.
Yeah, so then by the end of the day,
we talk to people who know, we're like,
right? Well, and at least like you and I think we've had this conversation before. We're in this, and like same thing with our group in general. We're in this quilty universe, quiltapreneurs. We can talk to each other about this business stuff. That we could just like we try and talk with our partners and family members about, and they're like, okay, that's great. Like, Oshemi supports me.
Sweet, and they're so supportive.
Oshemi, are you still awake over there?
They just don't care.
I haven't heard a cough in a while.
Well, maybe he's sleeping.
He might be. He might be sleeping in his chair. Poor guy.
Mine is at work. He better not be sleeping.
Yeah. He's he's lurking. Okay. Oh, so people in chat are like, more interview in the future. Once a month guest on stream. That might be something we could think about, having a guest once a month and just kind of sitting and bullshit and talking about the bit, like the quilty sphere. That would be interesting. That would make a good podcast.
That would be fun.
Yeah. But that's one more thing that I don't want to add. Well, but for me,
I have entertained that before.
Don't do a quilty podcast. We're not doing a podcast. We're doing a quilty stream.
No.
We're doing a quilty stream that we upload to the YouTubes, to the tubes. Yeah. And honestly, I like this format better because a podcast, I don't see. Honestly, that's how I found Twitch. I'm going to digress really quick, but I was listening to a podcast called The Angry Chicken. And it was a, World of Warcraft has a game called Hearthstone, which is like a runoff of World of Warcraft. And these 3 people were really big into Hearthstone and strategies and like what the news around it, because Hearthstone was really big at a certain time. And so The Angry Chicken was a podcast of them talking about what's going on in the game and what's coming and all this and strategies and stuff. And it's now the Magic the Gathering knockoff. Yes, it is. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But at the end of one of the podcasts, it says, yes, and if you want to see it live, come join us on twitch.tv/angrychicken. Right? And I'm like, oh, what is this Twitch thing? So I went and I'm like, oh, like, I could talk in the chat and, like, talk to them because, like, it was the whole uncut version. Like, they were talking and sitting there and all that. And then it was like, oh, I like this. And then I found all these other people and sewers and gamers and all. Yeah.
My kids originally kind of laughed when I said, there's more than just gamers on Twitch. And they're like, you're insane. They didn't laugh at me today, though. So I'm like,
yeah, they better fuck up. Hey, you better tell your kids to come follow and subscribe to me. If they've got Amazon Prime, you follow and drop your Prime in, because I need the monies, okay? If I'm gonna go, like, do all this, like, self-care shit, self-care's expensive, right? Like, your kids are gonna know, say, hey, my friend just, like, totally sold out and told me to tell you to sub to her channel. Like, Prime's going bye-bye. Prime's not going bye-bye. It's just changing a bit. It's actually going to be more profitable for people in other countries because it's going to be standardized to the US dollar. So, yes and no. Like, it'll be different. So, but yeah. So, yeah. So this is the part of the show, if you want to call this a show, where 2 bitches just hang out and talk. Nobody clip that, please.
no.
That's the last thing I fucking need, is that going around. This is the part where you get to sell out.
I've been called a bitch.
No. That's not what I'm worried about. Clip.
So,
shut the fuck up, oh Shammy. You better not be clipped. I better be quiet. I'm gonna wake up the baby, and that's not gonna end well.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
You will regret your life choices at that point.
My present me will be very angry at past me. And future me won't understand. But this is the part of the show.
I'm now on the flip side, yeah.
That's true.
I get to yell at them for waking me up.
Yeah. This is where you get to sell out and tell everybody where they can find you and your website and all that stuff. So, take it away.
The website, the easiest domain, you can get to me at ALeeBCreative.com. It will redirect you to quiltitlist.com, which is where my severely neglected blog lives. And there's a link to my store there as well.
Link in the channel, guys. I just linked it for you. Yeah, I tried to go to the ALeeB section, and it tells me it's an unsecure site.
Oh, fuckers.
Yeah. Just letting you know. I should have probably let you know ahead of time.
Little fuckers.
But the site itself, the home page is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Homepage is fine. But once you hit the ALeeB part of, like, trying to get over it, it says it's unsecure and doesn't want to send me that way.
Oh, for fuck's
but
sake.
you can also
This is why That is on my who not how
Oh, you
list this
shithead! You
year.
did Twitch it. Oh my god, they clipped it. So this is the part of the show, if you want to call this a show, where two bitches just hang out and talk.
I'm fine with that.
All right, I'm
You should
gonna
just
send
embrace
that.
it.
I am.
Embrace the
I'm embracing
suck.
it. I'm gonna send it to you to show to your kids, to show them that now you are a meme. You are a clippable meme on Twitch.
Embrace the suck is a term that we use in my household because I'm married to U.S. Marines, so we
Yeah.
embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck. But so we can find you at the website that I've linked in the channel, guys, and then on Instagram, where can people find you?
ALeeBC Creative and also Quilt It List,
Yep.
to varying degrees of interesting posts, because I'm very bad and I can't get the scheduler to work. So.
You're kind of focusing right now on ALeeB, right? Because that's kind of been your
Yep.
focus right now for at least this year. So if you guys are going to follow anything, go follow her on ALeeB Creative. She has made this beautiful block for our Sprout Quilt challenge that we have neglected completely to talk about. But it is a fabulous
And two
block.
of the patterns resemble this block. They are not made up of this block, and to be honest, I'm not convinced that I should do a whole separate pattern with this block. The other one is similar, and
we'll have to workshop
very fun to look at,
because I think it's a very beautiful block. So I'm very curious to see your other work. So yeah, you guys make sure to go and follow Amanda and check out all of her stuff. And yeah, there is still time. Believe it or not, you can still sign up for Sprout, and I will put that into the channel. Put that link, Sprout. You can hit that link. You can sign up. Oh, I need to actually attach today's email to the workflow so people can actually get to this week's block.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to do that after stream. I'm trying to be professional here. Thank you very much, guys. Super professional.
Such a bitch when we're trying to be professional.
I know. Like, my brain doesn't want to. It's like, oh, I feel like everything's working, and then nope, done. But yeah.
I spent the entire last week making myself look professional, and I think I did a damn fine job. Thank you very much.
I think you did a fucking fantastic job. And, you know, you can catch Amanda doing all the things online, and keep your eyes out. She's going to be in lookbooks, and she's going to be selling her patterns. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on to the stream. I always love having my friends and getting to chat, and just next time we'll have to do a sew day. And, like, actually get to sew and do stuff. Like, that's my favorite.
Yes. Yeah. Well, next time I'll arrange with my offspring to not be at their computer.
We'll call it Bitch and Stitch.
Yes.
We're gonna. It's just the Bitch and Stitch. Amanda and Sondrasa, Bitch and Stitch night. Let's do it.
Yeah. Damn right. Let's do it.
Well, thank you again, Amanda, and I will talk to you really soon.
Okay.
Bye, dear.
Bye.
And guys, that was Amanda, and she is my friend, my buddy, my pal. I hope you enjoyed her as much as I do. Yeah, I have such great friends, don't I? I'm very lucky. I feel very blessed and fortunate. Even though some of my friends will make bad, terrible clips of me saying things, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Fucking love y'all. I will do a couple little selly outy things. If you enjoyed the stream, hit that follow button. That way you get the notifications for when we go live again. We will be live again on Friday with Chris from Memories and Stitches. She is the other block for the day, so we'll make sure to do that. And then, if you guys are interested, we are HelloFresh partners for the month. We have 8 more days. 8 more days on our HelloFresh. HelloFresh. So hit that link if you are interested in taking a look at that and getting a box of food. It's about 65% off plus a breakfast item per box for the life of the subscription. I enjoy HelloFresh. It works for my family and it's quick and easy. So it's all good. But yeah, we will be back on Friday, and then we will have our last interview next Friday. Yeah. It's been really great. I've been really enjoying this series, and I hope you have too. I will see you all Friday. Have a good one. Bye.